welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're cracking open the Q2 2025 report from Metallicus. They're a company making some pretty bold claims.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, like having built the most advanced and regulatory compliant blockchain banking stack in the industry.
Okay, that is bold.
And their co-founder and CEO, Marshall Hayner, he actually declared this the greatest quarter in the company's history.
Wow. So high stakes then. But you know what's really interesting here is the timing.
How so?
Well, Metallicus has been building this tech for, what, a decade? They were even involved in early crypto advocacy, like that Cryptocurrency Act of 2020.
Right, I remember that.
And now, suddenly, you've got U.S. policy actually starting to line up. Things like the Genius Act, the Clarity Act. It feels like the regulatory world is finally catching up to where they've been pointing.
That's a great way to put it. And this alignment, it really puts Metallicus in a unique spot.
Definitely.
They're aiming to integrate directly with banks, credit unions, community banks, offering them tailored solutions.
Right, not just off-the-shelf stuff.
Exactly. And this report, it covers a lot of ground. Institutional adoption via stablecoins, private subnets, crypto as a service, self-custody wallets.
Plus updates for their individual crypto products too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So our mission for you today is to really distill the key takeaways from this pretty dense report.
Give you a shortcut, basically.
A shortcut to understanding how traditional finance and digital assets are starting to converge. So what's the core vision driving all this?
Well, fundamentally, Metallicus believes they've built this complete, compliant blockchain banking stack. They talk about their purpose-built vertical framework for banking.
Okay, what does that mean exactly compared to others?
They contrast it with what they call fragmented and isolated solutions. The idea is they've built the whole thing top to bottom specifically for banking.
Not just pieces cobbled together.
Precisely. And they say institutions are already using it, piloting things on-chain within their TDBN, the digital banking network.
So it's not just theoretical.
No, it's active. And they make a point of crediting their leadership, especially CFO Irina Birkin and the compliance team, for, getting through some choppy waters.
Which is crucial in this space. Okay, let's get more concrete. The Stablecoin Pilot program, that sounds like a key piece. What's happening there?
Yeah, this is really where the rubber meets the road for institutions. They have a live pilot running, but it's inside the Metallicus Sandbox environment.
A sandbox,
Yeah.
So like a safe testing area.
Exactly. Secure, isolated, lets financial institutions experiment without risk. They can issue their own 1.1 USD-backed stablecoins, test how transactions work.
And what are they measuring? What are the key things they're looking for?
The essentials for banking operations, really. Settlement speed, how fast transactions clear, cost efficiency, obviously crucial, and ledger transparency.
Makes sense. And the scale, is it just one or two institutions?
No, this is pretty significant. The report says 12 credit unions are now actively participating.
12, wow.
Yeah, and they're deploying their own custom-branded stablecoins.
So not just generic ones, their own brand.
Right, and they're validating actual use cases, things like member-to-member payments, internal settlements within the bank, and importantly, making sure it works with their existing core systems.
That interoperability is key, I bet.
Absolutely, and these pilots are getting a boost from partnerships.
Like the GoWest Credit Union Association.
Exactly. GoWest represents, over 300 credit unions in 6 states?
That's a huge network.
It gives Metallicus structured access and really speeds up the learning process for everyone involved.
And what about DaLand CUSO? How does that fit in?
DaLand is interesting. It's a CUSO, a credit union service organization. Think of them as a bridge.
A bridge between?
Between the credit unions, often older core banking systems, and this new digital infrastructure Metallicus is offering. It helps them connect to stablecoins, yes, but also prepares them for things like Bitcoin, other digital assets. It's future-proofing, essentially.
So it's not just the tech, it's the whole support system around it. Like their innovation program too, right? That's still growing.
Yeah, the report mentions 6 new credit unions joining this quarter. Directions Credit Union was named specifically.
And the goal there is exploring practical uses in a regulated way.
Exactly. Member-focused environments figuring out how blockchain can actually help them. And for those just starting out, they even did a Stablecoin 101 webinar.
Practical stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about the underlying tech. Achain and PulseVM.
Right, the core infrastructure. So the Achain, that's their main blockchain, built in Rust. They're saying it's stabilized now on its production-ready architecture.
Okay, stable. And PulseVM sounds important.
It is. They call it a high-performance virtual machine optimized for banking and stablecoin workloads.
Optimized.
Yeah.
So not just a general-purpose VM.
No, think of it like a specialized engine built specifically for the demands of financial transactions, high volume, secure, efficient.
Tailor-made for banking. Institutional grade.
That's the goal. They've deployed a native version of their Pulse token contract, tested its whole life cycle. Now they're focused on benchmarking performance, adding more smart contract capabilities, and just validating it like crazy internally.
Makes sense. Reliability is everything there. What about accessing this? How do users interact?
Good question. They're integrating Full Metal blockchain wallet functions directly into WebOff.
WebOff is their self-custody wallet.
Correct. So things like staking, governance voting, sending transactions, it's all being unified into that single WebOff interface.
For both institutional and individual users.
That's the idea. Streamline it for everyone.
And speaking of integrations, what about FedNow?
Yes, FedNow. They mentioned that a lot of the production environment build-out is done. High security, high resiliency standards.
And the status now?
Final configuration and validation. They're getting ready to plug into the Fed's instant payment network.
That's a big deal for real-time payments.
Huge. Okay, moving on to the product suite itself. The MetalPay API sounds like a key piece for institutions.
How did that work?
It's an API, so it lets financial institutions basically plug digital asset services directly into their existing apps and websites.
So the bank's customers don't have to go to a separate crypto app.
Exactly. The bank can offer crypto services within its own regulated environment, helps them keep customers, keep deposits, prevents that money flowing out to external exchanges.
That's smart. Keeps them competitive.
And to support this, they launched a V1 partner dashboard. Got developer docs, tools for managing keys, funding accounts, overseeing customer activity securely.
Making it easy for the banks to onboard.
Right. And there's also this neat synergy they mentioned between MetalPay, their custodial platform, and MetalX, the DeFi exchange.
How do they link up?
All the tokens you hold in MetalPay now have corresponding X tokens on MetalX, so you can move between that custodial world and the self-custody DeFi world more easily.
Bridging the two environments.
Yeah. Plus, they mention ongoing UI/UX work across MetalPay and even building their own content publishing tools.
Interesting. More control there. Okay, what about the stablecoins? Metal Dollar, XMD, and this Metal Pay Dollar, MPD.
Right, so XMD, Metal Dollar. They're doing UI/UX research to make it easier to see and use across all their products, MetalX, WebOff, MetalPay.
And its role.
It's positioned as the main trading pair on MetalX, their exchange, and it's the reserve-backed stablecoin index on the digital banking network, TDBN, so it's pretty central.
Okay, the core currency in their ecosystem. What about MPD?
MetalPay Dollar, MPD, is different. They call it an internal prototype for managing liquidity.
Internal prototype, so not for public use.
Correct. It's currently only held in Metallicus' own wallets. Think of it as an operational tool for them, maybe for smoothing out liquidity behind the scenes, separate from the public XMD.
Got it. Operational versus public. And a big point, XMD is now live on Metal L2.
Yes, that's huge. It expands XMD's reach onto Ethereum's scaling ecosystem.
So for you listening, that means potentially faster, cheaper XMD transactions within that whole Ethereum world where so much DeFi happens.
Exactly. Now, shifting to MetalX, their DeFi platform, they've unified lending right into the main interface.
Made it a native experience, they say.
Yeah, the goal is just making it seamless. Moving between trading, lending, managing your portfolio without jumping around, less friction, faster decisions.
Makes sense. Anything else new on MetalX?
They expanded their loan rewards, specifically for the XXRP and XLTC markets. This was after a DAO approval.
Bringing them in line with other assets.
Yeah, incentive parity. Should encourage more liquidity for XRP and Litecoin on the platform, more yield opportunities for users holding them.
And getting more visibility, too.
Right. They submitted MetalX to CoinMarketCap for exchange tracking. Plus, just general UI/UX upgrades across the board. They want it to be faster, more intuitive, more powerful.
Always improving. Okay, WebOff again, self-custody. What's new there?
Big one here is fiat to self-custody integration with MetalPay.
So you can buy crypto with fiat and send it straight to your own wallet.
Exactly. Using a debit or credit card, apparently with low fees, directly into your WebOff self-custody wallet. It's a regulated on-ramp straight to self-ownership.
That's a very direct path. What else for WebOff?
They're working on a portfolio view, consolidated balances from multiple chains all on one screen.
Oh, that's useful. No more app hopping.
Hopefully not. And the ambition is bigger. bringing that simple WebOff authentication to other major chains like Bitcoin, XRP, Hedera.
A unified experience across different blockchains.
That's the dream, a truly seamless, unified crypto experience. Plus, again, ongoing UI/UX tweaks.
Constant refinement. Now, the XPR network itself, it's been growing.
Significantly, they crossed 700,000 accounts this quarter. Community's growing too, over 70K followers on X.
That's solid growth. Any infrastructure updates?
Yeah, Dapper joined as a block producer, which is a no-name. New testnet BPs too. Shows increasing activity and decentralization.
And product updates for XPR.
New XPR Explorer, updated blocks docs, the usual maintenance and improvements, but they're really highlighting the developer tools.
Making it easy to build on.
Yeah, updates to the Web SDK, Proton CLI, a WharfKit plugin. They're positioning XPR Network as high-performance and developer-friendly.
And DeFi on XPR.
The loan protocol rewards for LTC and XRP we mentioned are part of that. Plus, they're building a new endpoint to track total value locked, TVL, more transparency for DeFi users.
Good for tracking adoption. Okay, lastly, Metal L2, the banking layer for Ethereum.
Right. They're showing they're serious about being part of that ecosystem by participating in Optimism governance voting delegation program.
Playing by the rules of the Optimism community.
Exactly. And the core offering here is straightforward. Seamless bank to Ethereum fiat deposits.
Using TDBN and Metal Pay Connect.
Yep. Think of Metal L2 as that plug-and-play on-ramp, making it super easy for you to get money from your bank account onto Ethereum or its layer 2s, like chains built with the OP stack.
A direct bridge for fiat.
Okay,
wrapping up, how's this being perceived? Any media coverage?
Yeah, some notable mentions. American Banker featured them twice.
About what?
The Stablecoin Pilot program, and generally about how smaller banks and credit unions are starting to embrace stablecoins. Metallicus got highlighted for their work there.
Positioning them as facilitators for smaller institutions.
Right. And Marshall Hayner, the CEO, did a NASDAQ Trade Talks live segment. The intersection of emerging crypto legislation, apparently it got over 100,000 views.
Florida obviously got into the mix with that on the sandbox. You've seen Texas do it with a crypto reserve. And you've seen some other states also get into the sandbox effort to try and build up crypto and blockchain technologies. This is massively important for America's sovereignty.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Marshall, it's great to see you and always get insight from Metallicus because your infrastructure, it's purpose-built for regulated financial applications. So when you're designing blockchain and the rails for stablecoins and KYC and AML and just a regulated DeFi ecosystem, how crucial was this to getting this legislation in motion?
Yeah, I would say it was very crucial. You can see the explosion of interest in digital assets from financial services, credit unions, banks, traditional finance is now entering the space. And there was a lot of interest over the past, I would say even decade, but the past few years have been leading up to this moment. And blockchain technology really is the closing the gap between financial technology companies, fintechs, and traditional financial services, banks. But the issue that was missing was the clarity. So the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, that gave basically the green light for banks and institutions to enter blockchain. Now, does that mean that we should innovate, not in a responsible manner, or should we mirror the existing systems and make them better and improve them, right? If I were to send a bank wire,
that shows the interest level.
Definitely. And they hinted at more thought leadership stuff coming up.
Okay, so bringing it all together, we've seen legislative shifts like the Genius and Clarity Act starting to maybe pave the way. And we have Metallicus pushing hard on this idea of a comprehensive banking layer for digital assets integrating with actual banks.
Yeah, building those bridges.
So the final thought for you, the listener, is this.
Right.
What do you think all this means for your financial future?
Right. How might your everyday banking experience actually change? Could you soon see these digital assets integrated right into your bank account?
And what new possibilities, or maybe even questions, does that bring up for you? Think about convenience, control, maybe even privacy. Lots to consider there.